Welcome to my channel. My name's Lauren and today I'm going to be showing you how I turned this oversized blue flannel shirt into a cute cropped shirt, potentially to be worn as a jacket as well. Anyway, let's get to it. So at this project you'll need scissors, pins, measuring tape and tailor's chalk or a marker. I began by unpicking the pocket. Unpicking takes time, so we'll skip through it, but in the end I did decide to sew the pocket back on. I just hadn't quite worked out how short or long I wanted my shirt and I didn't want to risk cutting through the pocket. Next step was to work out how long or short I wanted my shirt to be. I did this by actually trying it on and deciding at what point I wanted it to end, and then made a mark. It was quite easy to work out how many bars down with the checks, but you can measure it out. So mine measured to be 18 centimetres and then I just added on an extra centimetre for seam allowance. I then measured this at both sides down from the armholes and marked along so I had a clear line to follow as I was cutting. After cutting, separate the two pieces. We're going to start by working with the bottom half of the shirt, and this is going to create a band round the bottom to give it a nice finish. I wanted my band to be about 2 inches, so I had to double that since it's folded over on itself, and then I added another inch on for seam allowance. I started by working in centimetres and now I've jumped to inches. So in centimetres the overall distance is actually 12.5 centimetres. I then cut the end pieces off and separated the long strip of shirt into the 3 pieces by cutting down where the seams were originally. I then pinned them together how they initially were and sewed in a little bit, making all 3 pieces slightly shorter. Next you want to do a basting stitch all the way around the bottom of the main shirt piece. Having done my basting stitch, I pulled on the bottom thread, which then created the gathers, and I just had to work them all the way round, making sure the gathers were evenly spaced. This does take a little bit of time, working your gathers all the way round and making sure they're all spread equally, but it does help in the long run and make it look a lot better. After having sewn your waistband to the gathers of your shirt, we're now going to create the waistband by folding about 1 centimetre of the raw edge up and then folding the whole thing in half to cover the raw edges of the bottom of the shirt, and then pin it in place ready to sew. You want to make sure your waistband is even all the way along. Whilst pinning, you can do this by measuring along as you go. I'd recommend to leave about 2.5 centimetres at the very ends of the waistband, as this will help when we come to hemming the final edge pieces and actually sealing off the waistband. The best way to do this is to do a top stitch along where the join of the gathers at the bottom of the shirt and the waistband lie. This helps to give a clean finish to your shirt. In order to create a sharp finish at the end of your shirt, you're going to want to fold in the raw edges of the waistband to make them so they line up with the original ends of the shirt. Then we're going to pin that in place and sew along the edge that we initially left and then straight down the end to the bottom to finish shirt. And here is our finished look. I'm really happy with the outcome of this piece. It turned out way better than I was actually expecting. I decided to add a button and buttonhole onto the waistband itself, so when I did it up it could be buttoned all the way along. However, you can always just leave it unbuttoned. Also, I like the option of wearing it open as well. Woo! Thank you so much for watching and making it this far. If you liked my video and want to see more, then please hit subscribe.